Welcome back to MTR Network. This is Kriss and Phenom here, and we're here to review Fist Fight. One school teacher gets the other fired. He is challenged to an after-school fight. Stars Ice Cube, Charlie Day, Tracy Morgan. Who else is in this? Let's see. Dean Norris, Julian Bell, Christina Hendricks, who I did not know was in this film until I saw her, and I was like, "Oh wait, that's she's fucking crazy."
Did you not know she was in this film? She's the blonde. She's the orange, the ginger-haired bombshell.
No. I'm saying I didn't know she was in the film before I saw it. Like,
I didn't know.
Once she showed up, I was like, "Wait, they got Christina Hendricks in there? Oh, and she's fucking crazy." Oh, okay.
Just flaunting her. But she, you know what? She do got crazy eyes. Mm-hmm. Even though most of the time I see her in films, she's playing like a really nice role. She does have crazy eyes. And she worked the hell out of them crazy. She worked them crazy eyes better than she typically works like her hips, but she worked the fuck out them crazy eyes, man.
Yeah. Look, man. I'm gonna say, this movie funny as shit.
We had a conversation with another press person about, because he was like, "Yo, what y'all think of Fist Fight?" Because he watched it with us at the screening, and it just the more we talked about it, the more we were laughing about scenes that they were just funny. This film lives in the vein of films like Sex Drive and Fired Up. They're just silly ass films that have a very basic comedic premise, and they go above and beyond with the ridiculous to make it funny. This film is completely imaginary. This school could never exist.
No.
not in white America. It could never exist. Not with all them white kids. That's the first thing I kept thinking. Listen, I knew this film was full of shit when in the opening scene, because it's senior prank day. It's the last day of the year. It's the senior prank day. When they showed that it was a white school, and the white kids were walking into school
with a metal detector,
go through metal detector.
Right.
That's the moment where I went, this movie is unreal.
It's like they got a metal detector and a security guard.
Kids ain't walking through no metal. They didn't have no Spanish kids.
Nope.
They had like 2 black kids, but they had security guards and metal detectors for white kids. Nope. That school does not exist. There are like 7 substitute movies, and none of them take place in an all-white school with metal detectors.
No, I noticed that too. I was like, I don't. So the way they get to the fight and things like that is there's an underlying thing here where the school is underfunded, and the superintendent, who is played by Dennis Haysbert, they're basically trying to fire departments and cut back funding, and they're not giving teachers the resources they need to actually teach these kids. Which, again, it just throws you out because you're like, no, I know this happens in white schools, but I was just like, this is a school that's built for one of those urban, like, stereotypes of an urban school that, again, metal detectors, security guard, teachers, a bunch of kids of color that aren't getting the lessons they need. It's built like that, but then you look at the school and you're like, this seems like it's in a white, well-to-do neighborhood.
This was a melting pot of multicultural stereotypes, all placed on white kids.
Right, which I think is brilliant.
No, it is brilliant. I think that's what makes it really funny, because first of all, they treat the school like it's the school in Dope or the school in 187, which are urban black schools in Southern Cal or whatever. Like, they're in bad areas, of California, Comptons and Oaklands, and not the best. And those schools don't have senior prank days. Not in movies, they don't, because there's nothing funny about going to school in those movies. But in this movie, the white kids are so terrible that the school has to put in metal detectors.
They're even selling drugs. They're selling drugs in the school. White kids, right? To the
teachers. I mean, it is.
It was literally white on white crime too, because it's a white kid. I just thought about it as a white kid selling drugs to a white teacher. Like, I appreciate the fact that they're using the stereotypes that are typically associated with, black and brown kids in schools. And they're like, we're going to turn it on the head. We're going to make it white people this time.
Look, this movie is so white that they not only did they ask Ice Cube to be his blackest NWA self, but I mean, he was straight up Predator, y'all. Like, he was Predator Ice Cube.
Mm-hmm.
He was American gangster, like, not American gangster. He was America's Most Wanted. 3K's Ice Cube, okay? But that wasn't enough. They had Tracy Morgan in here, who was one of the blackest actor, comedian people on TV ever. All his jokes are black.
Like,
they're all drunk uncle at the cookout black jokes.
I was about to say that, yeah. Tracy Morgan's, yeah.
They weren't finished there. They had to put a song in this shit that is so goddamn black that the theater lit up with blackness, and the one other black kid character in this movie looks extremely black, and I'm not talking about his complexion. He looks super black and has a high-pitched girl voice. I was like, nigga, this gotta be the whitest school ever, where all the white kids got bass in their voice and the one black kid doesn't. That's years of having to assimilate.
Mm-hmm.
You lose your bass.
Oh, the wigs the two kids had on too were, my God.
The what?
The wigs.
What wig?
They couldn't have been their hair.
What wig?
That white kid that was beside him, his hair was ridiculous.
I feel like white kids do ridiculous things. Their hair was
man, it was yes, but it was beyond that.
It might have been a wig, but I did not notice it. I just noticed a bunch of white kids running a whole high school, and not in a very 10 Things I Hate About You way. In a very we've been staying most of our lives living in the gangsta paradise way. That's how it felt. I'm surprised they actually didn't play that song.
Yeah, I was surprised too. And what I love about the senior pranks escalate throughout the movie, quietly. Like there are things that kind of happen in the background of this movie beyond just the setup for the fight between, and we'll get to it, Charlie Day and Ice Cube, but like the pranks escalate as they go along, and there's a really good one. Like they hired a mariachi band to follow the principal around, and that's a recurring gag that is just fucking hilarious. Like the horse gag with the horse. You see that in the trailer. There's a lot of stuff going on here, and it's just fucking hilarious.
I do like that in the end credit scenes, they answer the question that I had about horses running through a school all day long.
Right.
It's in the gag reel, so when I saw that, I felt happy because I was like, that question was bothering me.
Right.
This whole movie.
So when you get to obviously the first two characters, you have Ice Cube playing Strickland, Mr. Strickland, and Charlie Day playing Andy Campbell, and again they're. And Andy's worried about losing his job. His wife's pregnant. He has a little girl already. So he's worried about getting fired, losing his job. And Strickland, Ice Cube's character, just doesn't give a fuck about anything. But he's one, if you think about it, he's the one teacher in here who's really trying to hold the kids accountable and forcing the teach. Like, it's senior prank day. The kids are running around. He's forcing his kids to be in their classroom and learn on that last fucking day. And again, it's one of the things, again, I appreciate that. I appreciate, again, going against what the stereotype would have been and having Strickland be the stickler for the rules. And again, you see the trailer, what happens with that. He goes after one of the kids with an axe and chops up the chair, which, by the way, that kid deserved it.
He was a little dickhole.
Mm-hmm.
I have to respect his pranking gangster.
No, the pranking game was good, but he deserved it. And
you have to take an axe to a kid like that.
Yeah, you got to.
It's teacher salary, especially teacher salaries at that school.
Mm-hmm.
That like teachers, students at that school make more money. I think that was actually yelled at one point. I make more money than you, and these kids are in high school.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, at that point, you can't get through to them, can't get through to the parents, can't get any administrative help. Just go ahead and grab an axe, dog. Axe it out. Work it out with an axe.
And so, long story short, Ice Cube character decides he's gonna make an example out of Campbell and challenges him to fight. Says he's gonna fight him after school, 3 p.m. And what follow? And again, while it seems ridiculous and stupid, there is a purpose to why he's trying to get the fight going. And you can call bullshit on it, whatever you want, but Strickland actually has a purpose in mind of what he's really doing. But that fight's gonna happen, and it's hilarious watching them get to that point. It just is.
I like that they stuck to. They didn't try to have a moment where they toned it down and brought it back down to earth to wrap up this teacher tale.
Yep.
No, it is absurdly ridiculous to the very end, and that I felt like stick to your guns.
Mm-hmm.
You are trying to sell the premise of two teachers fighting in a school and that being a big event. The last movie that tried to sell two people at work having a fucking fist fight in the parking lot at 3 p.m. was Joe Somebody, and that is an actual film.
Mm-hmm.
I watch it all the time. It's Tim the Tool Man in it, and Hayden Panettiere, which is like 11. But so when I saw fist fights commercials, I was like, oh my god, they're remaking Joe Somebody with teachers.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, son. But when you see how fucking ridiculous it is, you're like, you know what? This is just an amazingly written script. Like whoever wrote, all right, so what if it's senior prank day and you have these sniveling teachers that are all worried about getting fired. All 5 teachers in this school are worried about being fired. You got one black teacher who can't make it out of the school after being fired.
Right. He was there the entire. Yeah, I was like, dude, you were leaving like at the beginning of the fucking film. Like, why are you still here?
You got one black teacher that clearly he teaching history to a class of white kids.
Mm-hmm.
So he's angry all the time. The other black teacher is a stereotypical thing for black teachers in schools, a PE teacher.
Tracy
you
Morgan.
got a teacher trying to fuck the students.
Mm-hmm.
Like with no hold back at all. Like she just relentlessly is out for that teen dick.
Well,
and she actually uses the term teen dick.
No, it was tweenus.
Was it? It was tweenus.
It was tweenus. She wanted some tweenus.
You know terms you hear them and you want to put them on a shirt, but what you know when you do, you going to jail.
The best thing about I think the character's name was Holly in there. The best thing about Holly was she was the guidance counselor apparently, and it's like you find out that she has a drug problem, and then you find out she's the guidance counselor. Like that's not okay. That's not good.
Yeah, I don't know. This is just a good, funny for adults, college students, high school kids. It's a good comedy, man. Like it really it kind of broke in the year.
Mm-hmm.
I think it popped the comedy cherry for this year because I don't think there's been a funny film dropped this year yet.
Not intentionally funny.
Yeah. Yeah, don't laugh at things that aren't intentionally funny. Fist Fight is fucking funny.
Yeah.
It's good. Like it is a good film.
Yeah, one of the underrated things about Fist Fight is the actual fight between, and it's not a spoiler because they eventually fight. The fight between Charlie Day and Ice Cube is actually pretty good.
It's a hardcore street brawl.
Yeah, it's it is like I watched it and I'm like, yo, they're actually whooping each other's asses, right? Like it's actually surprisingly a good fucking fight, and it's highly entertaining, and I was surprised by that. I was definitely surprised by that.
I don't know. UFC Teach for America was dead ass in this movie.
Yeah,
they were legit trying to kill each other, and the pranks, man, were fucking awesome. They never got annoying because they were so good,
and they were different every time.
They were right. They were all overboard. All of them made me think, how much money did these students spend to pull this shit off? And they do it so casually. Like the two kids that are cutting the grass, cutting the field the whole time.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
And they just keep coming back to them every once in a while to show you how far they progressed in their pranking.
Right.
You know, it just I don't know where all those kids came from at the end of the film. They everywhere, but
right. Like I said, Charlie Day's character came, and the thing I like about it is between Charlie Day's character and Ice Cube character, I would say Cube's character is more right than Campbell's. I mean, they're both still wrong and go too far, but Campbell he's probably I would put him the lead in this, but he is not a good, like, he's not always a good guy. Like, he's kind of a worm.
He is, and they refer to him as a weasel, a worm, sniveling. He is like at first he's not. At first he's just pretty much a pushover. He's pretty much a pushover. Later to be referred to as a pussy. All of this is accurate, and also the weasel stuff is accurate. Like, he goes completely overboard to try to fix this situation, and Ice Cube is like the crazy Gandalf. That every time he tries to fuck with Gandalf's staff, Gandalf is like, "Why did you just walk a mile to get to this point where you could have came straight here?"
Yeah, he's asking, why don't you just talk to me first? Why don't you do this? Why do you, yeah, and yeah. I think we talked about it before. There's a setup for a song later on in the movie, which you should like. I'm actually mad that I didn't catch what they were gonna do until they did it, and when they did it, I was like, I should have known. But it's absolutely fucking hilarious.
Well, I'm not a fan of this artist's music.
No.
But now I kind of want to go listen to their album because I was sold. I was sold on it at that point. And for people who listen to my podcast, Deidre actually listened to this project by this artist who she loathes, which kind of blew our minds when she told us that she had checked out this artist's new project. So then I hear their name in this movie, and I'm like, oh, come on. But the way they brought it home, I was like, damn, that was funny as fuck. Like, my stomach still hurts from laughing Monday. That scene. And, I mean, everybody in the theater caught it. With that laughter was totally contagious. Yeah, just tears flowing everywhere during that scene.
Like, you literally, and I said this before. It does the thing where, like, Family Guy, where they take a bit almost too far to the point that it becomes funny again. That's what happens with this one. Like, it gets to the point where you're like, they're gonna keep going. Are they gonna do the whole song? Oh my god, they're gonna do the whole thing. But it works. It just fucking works. And I'll be honest, like, the entire movie works to me. It's again, you're not. Turn your brain off, go in, enjoy it. There is a larger thing about, you know, that it's probably not going to stick for some people, but about the suits and the higher ups not giving teachers the resources they need to teach kids, and using teachers as a way to cut things. So the threat behind all the teachers is, that's their day of their performance reviews, and they're looking to cut certain departments, or they're cutting certain teachers and whole departments. So yeah, it's just yeah. What would you give it out of 10?
Out of 10, it's I think it's a smooth 8 out of 10. Honestly,
that's what I would give it to.
It's what I want to sit down and watch when I put on a comedy.
Yeah.
Now we can go. You know, I could throw on a classic like Friday or Half Baked, or you know, I could hit up a classic. I could Harlem Nights it. You know, I could Step Brothers it or Anchorman it. Knocked Up is on every time 40-year-old version is on television. I watch it. I could do all of that, and I would put this right in with them. I don't think that the story is as developed because Judd Apatow didn't do it.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah, it's just it's a but everything doesn't need to have a very endearing story. Like this movie does not have an endearing story. This movie is what films like Keeping Up with the Joneses think they're doing.
Yes.
And they're not doing it. And if they are doing any part of it, it's not being done well. This movie is about gags. It is about raunchy, in your face, super unreal gags. And I love the I love the slapstick finesse of it all.
Yeah.
I think the writing group did an amazing job. I think they landed like 80% of the jokes.
Yeah, that's the thing that's with comedies is like, can you land most of the jokes? You know, and for this one they do. And I thought there are a few obviously lowbrow dick jokes in this movie, but not as many as I thought there would be. Like, I would think something like Neighbors has way more dick jokes than this film does.
Neighbors 2 tried to be some bullshit like this and couldn't do it because Neighbors 2 thought it had an endearing story about female power and feminism and shit, and it didn't actually because it was written by a bunch of dudes who play with their dicks and were probably working on Sausage Party at the time anyway. Yeah,
yeah.
I want to work at this school.
I do not.
I do. I want to fucking work at this school because the staff conversations alone are hilarious. Ice Cube trying to work that fucking deluxe coffee machine.
Coffee.
I don't even like coffee like that in the morning. I would come to the break room every day and chill in the teacher's lounge just to watch him struggle make coffee.
Coffee. Like
I'd go sit in the counselor's office and have all types of conversations with her while not actually talking. I would just listen to her ramble about the fuckery that she's into. And then at the end of the day, I'd go and watch old boy who just cannot get out of that school after being fired. You know, be the I'm not even sure what cartoon character he is. He's like the schlep of the school and shit. He was a Charlie Brown of that school. And I would just Lucify the fuck out of him. I would just sit and watch him and his struggle life shenanigans.
Mm-hmm.
Nigga, he can't even walk to his car without falling and running into something. That type of shit. So yeah, Fist Fight is an enjoyable, funny film. Critics are killing it. I'm not sure why, because all the critics that were in the theater with us were laughing their asses off.
Now, you know how it is. You know, yeah.
And they laughed appropriately.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, well, you know, gotta laugh at the right times. You know, don't want to be a disturbance to anybody. So, anything else you gotta say about this one, man?
Ice Cube plays an amazing version of Ice Cube.
Yeah, really. I mean, that's really what he did. Like, to the point when I think when he shows up the first time, I think are they I don't know if they're playing an Ice Cube song, but it's such an Ice Cube moment. And I'm like, oh my God, they're going to really have him playing Ice Cube throughout this entire fucking movie.
Actually, yeah, there was a new Ice Cube song or a newer Ice Cube song playing in the background of Ice Cube. Yeah, I caught that. I catch shit like that.
Oh my God. I was just like, wait a minute. Are they doing? Mm-hmm.
And Charlie Day is Charlie Day. Charlie Day is one of the best, improv on-screen comedians.
Yeah.
Doing films. It's like him and Will Ferrell and Melissa McCarthy and a few others.
You know what it is? He always seems like he seems like he's out of his element when he's doing something. Like it just feels like so real. Like you can just tell, like the weight of the world is on him, and you're just like, oh, dude, you're so out of your depths right now. And it works when he delivers his lines. You can just feel it. You just feel like it's just natural to him, like almost like he's not even acting.
I don't feel like it's gimmicky at all. Like the way I feel Kevin Hart does it is gimmicky because in he's always constantly like having small man syndrome. I don't feel like that. I feel like Charlie is actually having white man too white syndrome. Missing some parts of his privilege, one privilege chromosome short, white man problem. That's how I feel.
And if you think about it, yeah, there is a lot of in the way he Strickland he acts towards Strickland sometimes. It really is just white privileged ass motherfucker right here. You know, like when he snitches on him and stuff like that, you're just like, like it's so good. It's so good.
Exactly.
It works. It works. So, all right, folks, that's it. There you have it. That's a review for Fist Fight. Find the rest of the reviews on movietrailerreviews.net or mtrnetwork.net. Search for Movie Trailer Reviews or MTR Network on iTunes or Stitcher Radio. Until next time, we're out of here. Peace.